Hello and welcome to NewsClick. We have with us Professor Anu Mohammed, who has been Professor of Economics at Jahangirnagar University for over 2 decades. Thank you very much for sparing your time and coming here to NewsClick.
For inviting.
My first question to you is about the project that you're here in Delhi for, the National Committee to Protect Oil, Gas, Mineral Resources, Power and Ports. Could you tell us what exactly are the schemes that you're looking for and what exactly are you trying to achieve with this?
National Committee is a new form of alliance in Bangladesh. It was established in 1998. This is sort of left party plus alliance, because there are some left parties within the National Committee. They have their differences on different issues, but on certain issues, on natural resources, environment and national ownership, people's rights, we have come to a united alliance. It started work in 1998 on the issue of a deal on natural gas with a US company and their project, and after it was a big blow out in a gas field and the US company was trying to escape, and then it started to mobilize people. So it a new type of activities grown up with this, and we had a few success like stop gas export of gas, stop many bad deals government had to cancel, including open pit mine in northern Bangladesh. And recently we are in a movement very that is getting huge public support, that is on Sundarban, to save Sundarban, because there is a largest mangrove forest, and this Sundarban is like natural protection system for Bangladesh, and about 50 million people in the coastal region from Bangladesh and India, they are dependent on Sundarban. So that is our latest campaign.
The Sundarban has been a site of contention now after the Rampal project was announced. So could you tell us the ramifications that you can foresee with that project in Sundarban?
Sundarban, when we came to know about this project in 2010. In 2010 we came to know that there is a government initiative to establish a coal-fired power plant very near to Sundarban, and it is 1320 megawatt power plant. The main partner is NTPC of India, National Thermal Power Corporation, and PDB of Bangladesh. There is a joint effort, Bangladesh India, and a company was formed, Bangladesh India Friendship Company, and they started evicting people from there even before environmental impact assessment, and it was very secret activities. But after we came to know from the local people who are trying to save themselves, they formed land protection committee, and from them they contacted us, and then we visited the place and found that many irregularities are there. Then we started investigating what coal-fired power plant can affect, how that can affect, and what the Sundarban, the special ecosystem, what are the dangers for Sundarban, and how it will affect the total ecosystem, its diversity, biodiversity, and also ultimately the people. So we started investigating, and in 2011 we came to the conclusion that we must resist this plant, because Sundarban is in many ways important for both the countries. Yes. This is a coastal, this is a World Heritage Site, this is the largest mangrove forest, and this is in the coastal region. It is divided between India and Bangladesh. It is 60% in Bangladesh and 40% in India, West Bengal. So in West Bengal, about 5 million people dependent on Sundarban for their livelihood. In Bangladesh part, about 4 million people directly dependent on Sundarban, and about 50 million people from both the countries, 50 million people dependent for their lives from the natural disaster, threat of national disaster. They rely completely on Sundarban. Sundarban saves them. So in the coastal area, and for the total ecosystem of these region, coastal region, this is obviously very important to save Sundarban. It was already affected by Farakka. Because of Farakka barrage, the sweet water flow was disrupted, and because of that, saline water, flow of saline water increased. That affected Sundarban. So, this Rampal power plant, after coming this project, Rampal power plant, that has become a final blow for Sundarban. What we asked government that you first you stop this plant, and then with India have a joint plan to save Sundarban from other activities, other adverse activities, and the land grabbing, forest grabbing activities, and also talk about the water flow. And this is, since this is important for both the countries, both countries should come forward to save and expand this Sundarban. Instead, both the government have become united to destroy Sundarban. That's where our mobilization comes. And from 2011 we started campaigning, and there are many research work we have done, and after that we contacted different experts from home and abroad, in Bangladesh, in India, and in different countries, to understand and to explain all these things, and to find huge type of mistakes and misleading information, and the lies and the fraudulent different type of arguments in the environmental impact assessment. So, from 2013 we had several type of long march, and it gained a huge public support, and after 2013 we started connecting Indian activists and experts, and we have some sort of coordination. And I think it is very important not only for Sundarban, but for many other areas of solidarity and struggle.
I'll actually quote from one of the articles. I really found this line very moving. It says, you wrote, nature is unbounded, barbed wire fences cannot stave off encroaching disaster. And this of course will mean disaster for both India and Bangladesh.
Yes.
So, because Sundarban, as you said, is artificially separated, but its ecosystem is spread out over the two countries. How do you think it's important for left solidarity to come out of both the countries, and in the larger context of left solidarity in South Asia, to save our environment? Because there seems to be a kind of solidarity with rising religious fundamentalism both in India and in Bangladesh. You yourself have been attacked in 2008. So how do you see that once there is this kind of corporate religious fundamentalism kind of a alliance going on, how do you see this kind of alliance as central to oppose the alliance that will actually harm all of us?
Yes, this is very alarming situation we are living in today's world. We must have the global context. We must keep in mind that the global context is also very important. After war on terror, the so-called war on terror, that gave different ruling classes of different countries ample opportunity to misguide people, to militarize more, and to grab for corporate profit land, the people's lives, people's body, and also forest and environment. So for South Asia, the government, every government, Bangladesh government, Indian government, Pakistan government, all governments, most of the governments are like fighting. They are saying that we are fighting terrorists, and from themselves they are providing all the terrorist development. They are organizing development terrorism on the people, and they are looking for justification by saying that we are fighting terrorism. So their cooperation is corporate cooperation. Yeah. And on the basis of corporate cooperation, they are like exploring every possibility to privatize everything for corporate profit. So they don't bother about the river, they don't bother about forest, they don't bother about the land and the people's lives, livelihood, everything they are crazy about making profit. So they are like coming one after another different type of projects. And so religious fundamentalism and religious fascism and this corporate fascism that comes together. Yeah. And everywhere in India and in Bangladesh, everywhere we are seeing that this corporate fascism, what we know from the textbook, that new liberal reforms, this corporate fascism is like they are soft, they need a soft window, like for example Hindutva or patriotism or Mukti Juddha Chetana, liberation, spirit of liberation war, all these things they are using as rhetoric and to bring a consent, manufacture consent among the people for themselves to rationalize their looting, plundering and destruction of nature, etc. But people's lives and livelihoods, this environment, our history, our struggle are very much connected. We cannot in isolation, we cannot fight this barbarism. In South Asia, the people's lives and struggle are so much connected, like environment and nature, rivers, air, nothing can be divided in the political, by the political border. If Bangladesh air is polluted, Indian air will be polluted. But if Bangladesh water is gone, Bangladesh river is affected, ultimately India will also be affected. And Sundarban, for Sundarban, it is very much evident that this Sundarban is, if affected in Bangladesh part, it will affected in Indian part. These friends and other things, political border, BSF and BJP, they will not be able to save this Sundarban. So the solidarity, our solidarity, if we can articulate our goals for like decent life, a people's solidarity across religion, caste, class and the nationalities, then we will find that we will have solidarity on the issue of fighting communalism, fighting religious fascism, fighting real government developmental terrorism, and to find a vision for a really democratic, peaceful, environmentally sound development paradigm for South Asia. That is what we try to achieve, and that is very much needed for the left in Bangladesh, left in India and left plus. There are other people in general to understand and to come forward to have this solidarity into a solid and very dynamic struggle. Since India is a big country and Indian government is like leading this South Asian corporate hegemony, then people and activists and the left in India, they have more responsibility to materialize this solidarity. And if they take more initiative, I think it will be very easy to materialize our solidarity and people's struggle in all over South Asia.
Since you brought that up, let me also ask you this question. Do you think that now we of course know that because of this kind of warmongering speech that goes around in South Asia, the actual development projects that will help the people in this region, irrespective of the countries and borders, they get cancelled? For example, as you know that the SAARC summit will not be held, which was supposed to be held because India pulled out. So how do you think that these particular decisions which are taken in the name of nationalism, in the name of working for the people, actually help eradicate the actual parameters of development?
The ruling class needs to keep the sense of conflict alive in the people's mind. So they create tension, they create the possibility of war, and this warmongering patriotism that helps armaments builders, armaments business, that helps corporate business, that helps to obstruct the peoples to people connection. So we need to work for the alternative development paradigm. We have to bring the alternative development model before the people, that we need others very badly for existence of ourselves and for development of ourselves. And the people to people connections in South Asia is crucial to find a new democratic South Asia.
We really hope that we will find that
Yeah.
new democratic South Asia. Thank you very much for joining us here.